Joining me from the movie Awesome Gals, the director, Frank Calo.
Hey, pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, so this is a very raw and emotional film, and it has to be raw and emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Why write this story? Because it's loosely based off of true events.
Yes, it is. Actually, it's based off of our executive producer, Deborah Ring, and her son, Cameron Ring, who came to me, and we're really good friends in New York City, and he came to me with his script, and we've been drinking, you know, became drinking buddies, and he says, would you read my script? And I'm a film producer and director. I do a lot of films, and I said, okay, as a friend, I'll read it. And I turned out I liked it, and because it's not only that, it's a learning process, because I like to do projects I can learn from, and the whole process of the soaring process, what they do to horses, and for the Tennessee walkers, that gait that you see, the higher the gait in competition for these horses, the more pain that a horse went through to get to that training conditioning. And so it was a beautiful project. And then we said, well, let's do the trailer to raise money for the investors. Okay. And that's what you saw here. And there's more to it, of the abuse of, and I kind of based it like a coal miner's daughter versus a war horse type, thing, and the abuse of the horse, the abuse of the girl. In the beginning, you see the abuse of both of them. Yeah. And then how they find each other and they heal. They go through a healing process, and that's what the story's about. It's really, the backstory is the soaring. I don't want to concentrate too much on the abuse, but because it's a beautiful story about how they actually end up winning competitions without the soaring, and in major Tennessee walking competitions, which is a true story, by the way. Yeah. And it's a major factor, especially in the South. Some people are pro, some people are against it, some people swear that it's not happening, but it does happen. And I just want to make sure that it's like a human condition story, and I think the healing process is very important to the story of what they both go through and how they, and the landscape. If you saw the landscape that's part
gorgeous,
of it. It's all part of the whole thing. So
I mean, you're bringing awareness to a crime that's going on with these horses. Yes. I did not know until I researched the film. Is this film just to bring awareness to what the cruelty of the horses?
For the executive producer, Deborah Ring, it's very important. Okay. Because she's the one who actually based the story on, and she went through this whole process, and I learned about it. But I said, this should not be like, let's don't hit him in the lap and say, okay, soaring. Every scene has to be about soaring. Yeah. That's the backstory. To me, what's more interesting is the healing process that they actually went through, and that's the long journey, and that's the longevity of their life. Because now that she's the real horse is like safe. Cameron. Hopefully you're going to be interviewing him as well. Yeah. He rides her all the time, and so it's more about that for me. But I use the backstories and like the girls from like the coal mines of like the coal, like up in the hollers, and she has like 8 kids she has to take care of, that her sisters and brothers, and she's being abused by her mother's boyfriends and stuff, and she runs away, he runs away. That's their backstory, and that still comes into the story as conflict, but the healing process is what's more important.
It sets the stage for the healing. Can you talk about the companionship and the relationship between the girl and the horse? Because I feel like, as someone who lives alone with an animal, it's a companionship that's like no other.
It's a natural companionship. It's innate. And the thing about it is that the girl knows nothing about horses, and she learns about how to ride the horse. And the fact is, when she goes into competition, when she finds out that women were not allowed to ride in the competition, was only men. So she had that's another obstacle I want to hit on. That's not. So there's more than just that. So the obstacles that she goes through, and she finds out now she learned how to ride, she learned how to take care of him, she learned how to get the Tennessee Walker without the soaring process, with the help of a trainer, a real trainer who's anti-soaring. And they actually end up getting married in real life.
Oh, nice.
And then but then she goes and says, I want to compete. He goes, you can't. And then she goes, I can. And somehow she figures it out, and she does. And then she ends up going to another competition, which allows women, and starts getting world-known recognition for that. And she becomes a well-known rider, and the horse actually becomes a top competitor in that world.
Can you talk a little bit about why maybe having this as a drama rather than a documentary fits the narrative better?
I'm a feature film director. I'm here in Sundance now. I won Sundance with The Believer before in 2000.
Yeah, and congrats on that. Yeah, it's a great film.
And I won Tribeca Film Festival here and there. I love this. Documentaries to me is not my cup of tea, although I love them. I mean, we were talking about some really good documentaries that we just saw, but to me it's more fictional. It's more, I want to heighten the levels. There's some points that's going to be heightened, and the drama's going to be heightened for that effect. But I'm more interested in that storytelling. You know, to me, it's all about the storytelling, and documentaries for me takes too long to make.
Right.
They take forever, man. So
yeah, and you have definitely way more creative control over feature film directing.
Yeah, and it's like, and I like to. I mean, this believe it or not, this simple little trailer, which was about 6 minutes. Took us about from March to August. We shot in August, so it took about 6 months of prepping.
Oh, I mean, I believe it.
And Cameron and I got the idea, the concept together for the trailer, what we were going to shoot, you know, tossing ideas. And I said, at first, I mean, the true story is, which we're going to show in the feature, is what the reason why because of the soaring process, but the reason why the horse actually escaped because she was having a foal. She was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
So she was trying to protect her baby, and how they actually find each other is there's a major rainstorm, and she gives birth, but the fowl is in the puddle, and it drowns in the puddle, and that's when the girl sees it, and she goes down and tries to help and save the fowl, and the horse recognizes that too, and that's how they actually bond.
Okay.
But for the trailer, we didn't have the money to do that, to create shoot it at night with the storms and all that kind of stuff. So we said, let's concentrate on the soaring and the process, the healing process of the abuse of the girl, and let's start with that. But in the real trailer, the movie's going to open up with that scene I just described.
Yeah, no, the trailer, we were talking a little bit about this during the break. It's very raw and emotional, and I feel like with this story, with this theme, it has to be raw and emotional. I mean, as an animal lover, I was watching the beginning where they're in the stable with the horse, and the guys are bringing out the chemicals.
Yes,
and
we had a great crew. We had Jake Simpson was our DP, and he's a young guy from Virginia, up and coming DP, wonderful director photographer. The actress Shannon Spangler is wonderful too, and I loved working with her. But I knew exactly what I wanted. Everything you see there is from what we created. I knew exactly how I wanted to put it together. And once I got to the editor was on. He was in a big film festival. He cut a big picture that was in some Geneva Film Festival, and I put the list together, said and when he got back, he just put it in order, and it was that because I knew exactly how I wanted to go, and then we trimmed it and all. We had to do some reshoots with the horses. And then we also have some really good horse wranglers, Stugs. I mean, I knew we had to get professional horse wranglers. We had twin horses for that. We had the wrangler we had 2 horses. So one was more aggressive. So the one that you saw in the opening with the horse freaking out, and then we had a passive horse where the actress and the stunt rider could actually ride. Okay. So they were twin, and that horse was Daniel Day-Lewis's horse in Gettysburg, Lincoln, when he did the Gettysburg Address. Yeah. That's the same horse. So we had a really professional, good crew that put this all together. Perfect. The makeup girl, Joan, they were all wonderful.
Frank, can you give people info on where they can catch the movie and the trailer?
Well, we're using this trailer to raise money. That's what we're here for. And we've been getting a lot of mileage on this trailer. We won 3 festivals. We're into more festivals. I mean, a lot of people are liking it, so that's good. And the investors now are coming to us and stuff, because the hardest part of making a film is raising the money on any project. And so you could come to my website is Frank M. Calo on the Facebook. Hit it up there. We have it up there, and then we also have a website, Awesome Gal, the movie, so that's where they can hit it up.
Perfect. So, Frank, so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's
really great having
trailer.
Thank you guys. I love what you guys were doing here.
If the movie is going to be anything like the trailer, it's going to be a fantastic movie.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Any help?
You guys gave us a big help. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this interview for In the Can. But we got plenty more coming up after the break.